Croeso pawb to the Multiverse of Games PSN sale. Now, this may not be the best sale I've ever seen. A lot of the games that are on a really good deal have been at these prices before. But hey, a lot of them haven't been on sale in a while, so there are still some really cool games you should be checking out. They don't always come on sale very often, so they're worth picking up when they are. So if you like the idea of finding cool new games to play and saving a lot of money along the way, then you're at the right place. Don't forget to subscribe. You're welcome here anytime. This sale ends on the 6th of June, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up, we have Black Clover Quartet Nights Deluxe Edition. It was released in 2018, so it's 7 years old, and it's on an 87% discount for the price of £6.88, which is a really great deal, as this edition includes the Season Pass of 3 content packs, worth over £12 on its own, so you get the complete version of the game with a lot of extra content included, which is really good. In this third-person action game, with an exclusive story fans of the show will love, you play as Astra, with his friends who take part in 4v4 team battles, playing as a fighter, healer, support, or ranged character, working together to win the battle as a team. Now, as anime franchise games go, this is a pretty good deal. Usually you don't get all of the content included. Most of the games ported over from Japan are usually pretty expensive, but this game has a really good bundle, and it's at a really good price as well. So if you're into third-person action games, then you might want to check this out, especially if you're really into Black Clover. You'll probably really enjoy this, especially as it's got an exclusive story. Then there'll be a lot here for fans of the show or the manga. I'm sure you'll enjoy the game the most. So if you like the look of this game, then definitely take a look at it. I think it's a really good deal for people that are really interested in this franchise. And hey, if you've never played a third-person action game before, then I probably wouldn't recommend starting here. You can get much bigger AAA legendary ones for about the same price, or even a little cheaper than this as well. But this is a good game with a lot of content included, so if you're a fan of Black Clover, then definitely take a look at this one. But if not, you will have other options in future videos, so don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss your other options in future videos. We have a unique little game next, Going Under. It was released in 2020, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a pretty great deal. This roguelike is set in a world where failed businesses sink beneath the earth, cursing their employees to wander their halls for all eternity, and you play as an unpaid intern who must battle through their remains, collecting treasure for your employer. Now, this is a really unusual little indie game, but it's well reviewed in general, and the people that played it really seem to like it. Now, in general, there's a massive amount of roguelikes around, so they have a huge amount of themes and stories, so this genre has so much competition that if you're not into one game, you have so many others to choose from, you're bound to find one that interests you more. So if you really like quirky little funny games, and you're into roguelikes, you might want to check this one out. It looks like a pretty decent one. If this fits your sense of humour, definitely take a look. It might just be the best game you've played in ages. And hey, if you've never played a roguelike before, then you could definitely start here. It's a really cool little game for a pretty cheap price. But as I said before, there's a ton of games in this genre, so you have a million to choose from, and they all have such a variety of stories and themes, which means you'll have a ton of games to choose from if you're not that interested in this one. So if you're not, don't worry about it. Keep up with the videos, and you'll find other options in future videos. We have an RPG next, Greedfall Gold Edition. It was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £10.49, which is a pretty decent deal. It's not on sale that often for this price, and I've never seen it cheaper yet, so far it's a pretty good deal. Especially as this edition includes a free PS5 upgrade, the Devesper Conspiracy Story expansion, and the PS5 version is enhanced with UHD 4K 60fps graphics, which is really cool. At least you're getting a better version of the game, and not just a better running version, which is really great. In this game, you get to explore an uncharted remote island filled with magic, riches, lost secrets, and fantastic creatures while meeting many companions along the way. It features complete character customization that can be reset at any point, multiple ways to play, and 2 different endings as well, which I think is pretty cool. More games should have a variety in endings. I feel it makes your decisions more impactful and gives you more investment in the story. Plus, if you like replaying games, it gives you a reason to see the other endings as well, which is cool. Now, the studio behind this game, they've made RPGs before. They made Technomancer, I think, before this, and that was a massive failure, but it did have some promising elements in it, and they learned from it and moved forward with this game, which was much better in general and was way more well received. People really like this compared to Technomancer, that's for sure. It may not be the best RPG ever made, and it may not be a big AAA legendary one, but it's a really good game for a fair price. So if you really like the look of it, why not check it out? It's supposed to give you many ways to complete the missions and the story, and in general it's supposed to be a pretty good game. So if you like RPGs and you want something a bit different, why not check this out? I think most people will like this game if they give it a chance. And hey, if you've never played an RPG before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. It may not be the biggest AAA game around, and it's also not the cheapest either. You can get other bigger AAA ones way cheaper than this, and even small indie ones way cheaper than that as well. So if you're starting somewhere, you're much better off with one of them instead. But hey, if you really like the look of this game, then check it out. It is a good game. But if you're not that fussed on this game in particular, then keep up with the videos, and you'll have much better deals to choose from in future videos instead. Up next is my star buy, Jurassic World Aftermath Collection, PS4 and PS5. It was released in 2023, so it's 2 years old, although the original games are a little older than that, and is on at least an 85% discount for the price of £3.74 or £2.49 with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, especially for a VR game, and especially because this collection includes both Part 1 and Part 2 of the Aftermath VR games, which means you get the PSVR 1 and the PSVR 2 versions as well, which means you can play it on whatever headset you've got, and you get the best version for your headset, or both if you own both, which is really great. I wish more games were ported to both headsets, and that you could buy on either, and even get both for the same price, like this. It's a really great model that I wish more games followed on PSVR. This puzzle adventure is set 2 years after the events of Jurassic World, where you are sent back to the island to recover key information, but after your plane crashes, you find yourself fighting for your life as you try to survive on the island long enough to escape, which is really cool. Now you should know by now I'm a big fan of VR games, and I really like the Jurassic Park franchise. Excluding the newer ones, they get progressively worse as they go on. We'll just skip over that for convenience. The only thing I'm not keen on with this is that it's got an animated graphic style. I'd much rather if it was photorealistic, that would be much better. But I get a feeling this game was made originally for the older, lower powered headsets and then just ported over, so you can't ask for too much really. But in general, there's not a lot of Jurassic Park or dinosaur games on VR. Robinson's The Journey was probably my favourite. I really loved that game, and I think anyone that's got a PSVR 1 should play that. But hey, if you've got a PSVR and you don't have a PSVR 1, or you just really like dinosaurs or Jurassic Park, you should definitely check this out. You're getting a lot of VR game for your money, and especially if you're into puzzle adventures, I think you'll have a great time. VR is meant for puzzle adventures. We get to explore cool worlds, and especially when they got a cool franchise like this, seeing dinosaurs in VR is really great. It's one of the experiences that VR was created for, I think. So hey, if you're interested, definitely check it out. Like I said, it's my star buy. It's well worth your time and money, I promise. And hey, if you've never played a puzzle adventure before, then you could definitely start here. As long as you're into dinosaurs and you've got a VR headset, then it's a really good place to start, especially for VR, because a lot of games are usually more expensive than this, and even with a franchise attached, this game is really cheap, so you can't ask for much more really. If you like the look of it, definitely check it out. Like I said, it's my start buy. Why not take a look at it? I'm sure you'll have a great time. We have a fighter next, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate PS4 and PS5. It was released in 2020, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 87% discount for the price of £6.49, which is a really great deal, as this edition includes the PS4 and PS5 editions, with improved graphics, loading times, and 4K resolution for the PS5, which is really great. It's nice to see they put some effort in and gave you a better version of the game. And it also includes the Aftermath DLC story expansion that adds a whole new story campaign to the game, which is a massive update. And it also includes 3 new characters of Shiva, Fujin, and Robocop. Yes, that Robocop. Plus 2 character packs of Shang Tsung, Nightwolf, Sindel, Mylena, Rain, the Joker, yep, that Joker, Rambo, yes, that Rambo, Terminator, the famous one, and Spawn, the comic book one, plus 7 exclusive skins, 6 skin packs, and the extra character Shao Kahn as well. So you're getting the complete version of the game with a load of extra characters included, and a huge extra story expansion, which is amazing. Most AAA fighter games these days barely give you any characters, nickel and dime you for the rest, and don't even throw in a proper story mode, and this one gives you a whole extra one in this bundle for free. It just shames the other fighting games. This is how they should be done these days, and it's a shining beacon for a game with morals for a change. Which is amazing. You literally can't ask for anything more really. And if that isn't good enough for you, for an extra £2.50 you can get the Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate and Injustice 2 Legendary Edition bundle, and get the complete Injustice 2 Legendary Edition game as well, which was made by the same company, but it's a DC fighting game. So you get 2 complete games for that price, with all of the extra content included, which is phenomenal. If you're into DC characters, you should check that out as well. And even if you want something a bit cheaper, Mortal Kombat X XL is also on sale for $4.79. It's older and it has different characters like the Alien franchise, so you might want to check that out if you don't want to spend as much money as this newer one. This fighter includes 2 full story campaigns where you fight to save Earth's past from being erased. It features 37 characters to play as, thousands of skins, weapons and gear to customize with, and over 6 game modes, including all of the stages and fatalities as well, which is a huge amount of content for a really great game from a legendary franchise. Like I said, it puts other fighting games to shame. They really need to step up, or people need to get better standards and stop paying so much for the other ones. Either way, if you're a big fan of fighters, especially Mortal Kombat or DC, then you should definitely take a look at this. It's a really great game from a great franchise with a ton of content. Can't ask for much more really. If you're interested, definitely take a look. I'm sure you'll have a great time with it. And hey, if you never played a fighter before, then you could definitely start here if you wanted to. It's a really modern game with a ton of content included, and especially with the bundles you can pick up a much more content and variety as well. And if you want to save a bit of money, buy the older one as well. So you have plenty of options. If you've been interested in a fighter for a long time, why not check this out? It's not often to see such great deals with modern fighters. We have a little adventure puzzle game next, 9 Witches Family Disruption. It was released in 2020, so it's 5 years old, and is on at least an 80% discount for the price of £2.99 or £1.49 with PS Plus, which is a really great deal. This adventure puzzle game is set in 1944 during World War II, where a secret division of the Third Reich arrives in a rustic Norwegian town. Set on unleashing an ancient curse, you play as a professor of occult science and his assistant, determined to stop them and unravel the mystery. Now, this little game is very well thought of. The reviewers really like it, players really like it, and it won a load of awards as well when it first came out. The story is supposed to be very good, and in general it's just supposed to be a really good quality little game. So if you're a fan of adventure puzzles, and you want something a bit different and niche that maybe you haven't heard of before, then why not take a look at this game? It looks like a really cool little quality game that more people need to know about, because it seems to be really good, and not as well known as I'd like. So if you're a fan of adventure puzzles like me, definitely check this out. It looks like a really cool and different game for a really good price. I think a lot of people would really enjoy it if they give it a chance. And hey, if you've never played an adventure puzzle before, then you could definitely start here. If you're intrigued by the story and you like 2D graphics, then it's a cool little game for a really good price. And I'm sure the story will draw you in, since everybody seems to love it. So if you always wanted to try this genre, why not check this out? It might just be your new favourite game genre. Up next is Other Side. It was released in 2020, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £4.99, which is really great. In this turn-based strategy game, you get to control mankind's last hope, the Daughters. Echoes of the greatest warriors that ever lived, are all who stand against the dread creatures arisen from the worst of humanity's crimes. It features RPG elements and permadeath for your daughters as well. Now, you don't get a lot of turn-based strategy games these days, and I really like the theming of this game. The art style's pretty cool as well, and in general it seems like a pretty interesting spin on the genre. Like I said, these days you don't have a lot to choose from, but this looks like a really good quality one. People seem to really like it, and it just looks like a really cool game with a really cool idea. So if you're a turn-based strategy fan, why not take a look at this game? It may not be the biggest game you've ever heard of, but it looks like a really good game for a fair price. So if you're into this sort of thing, definitely check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it. And hey, if you've never played a turn-based strategy before, then you could start here if you want to, but you can get bigger AAA ones with a lot more content for a bit more money than this, and you do have a few other options for about this price if you're not keen on the theming of this one. But hey, if you're into the theming for this one and you like the look of the story, then why not check it out? It's a good game for a good price, so you can't go far wrong really. Why not check it out? You may just find your new favourite genre if you've never played a turn-based strategy game before. It's a really cool genre, I promise. Shining Resonance Refrain is our next game. It was released in 2018, so it's 7 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £4.99, which is pretty good. In this RPG, dragons were long thought extinct, but Yuma holds the ability to transform into a shining dragon, and is imprisoned by the evil Empire for it. But soon, with the help from the Dragoneers, you are freed and asked to help them end the Empire forever. Now in general, there's a huge amount of RPGs around, and a lot of them have been around a long time, even if they're not as famous as like Final Fantasy or other such franchises, and this is one of those series. The Shining series has been around a long time, and they're a set of RPGs based around dragons. They may not be as famous as the Breath of Fire series, but they seem really good. The series in general is well thought of, and the games seem to be pretty good quality. I mean, they've been around a long time and there's been a load of them, so they can't be that bad to have been around this long, right? So hey, if you're into RPGs, especially anime and Japanese ones, and you're into dragons, then you'll probably really enjoy this game. Especially if you've already played the Breath of Fire series and you're looking for another game with dragons in it, then I'm sure you'll have a great time with this. If you like the look of it as much as I do, why not check it out? It might just be a cool little game for you to play. And hey, if you've never played an RPG before, then you could start here if you want to. You can get other bigger AAA legendary ones for not much more than this as well. So if you're really into this game, or you really like dragons, then take a look at this one. But if not, you do have a huge amount of games to choose from, so I'm sure you can find something else you'll be interested in instead. So don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss the other options in future videos. And the final game I have for you is another RPG, Sword Art Online Hollow Realization Deluxe Edition. It was released in 2016, so it's 9 years old, and it's on an 87% discount for the price of £7.79, which is pretty good, as this edition includes the Season Pass with new playable characters, quests, maps, and areas, costumes, new monsters, and bosses as well. So you get a much better version of the game with a load of extra content included, which is really good. In this game, a new VR MMORPG named Sword Art Origin has emerged, and Kiryu meets a mysterious NPC with a cryptic message. This new game seems familiar, but it's not the same as the one he escaped from years ago. This game features 4-player online co-op, and a story supervised by the creator of Sword Art Online as well. So if you're a fan of the series, then you'll probably really enjoy this. If it's overseen by them, I'm sure the quality is really good. And it's also nice to see 4-player online co-op as well. That's a really cool feature. Playing an RPG with your mates online just seems like a really cool idea, and it'd be nice to see more try this angle. I think it'd be really fun. So if you're into Sword Art Online and you haven't played this one, then why not check this out? It's a pretty good deal for a really good game from a huge series. There's a lot of games in this, but if you're into it, you'll know if you like it or not. Definitely take a look. It looks like a really cool game. And hey, if you've never played an RPG before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. It's from a massive series, and I don't even know where in the series it fits or what the stories intertwine with and all of that. You're probably better off starting with a smaller series, or a game that's not part of a massive franchise. You can also get much bigger AAA legendary ones for about the same price as well, so you do have a massive amount of competition to choose from. This genre is kind of endless really, so if you're not that keen on this one, then definitely check out other ones. But don't worry, I'll let you know when they're on sale next, so don't miss the future videos, and then you won't miss out when they're on sale next. And that's all the games I have for the Multiverse of Games PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones or did I pick bad ones? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it? Or should some other game have got it instead? Leave all your comments below, and we could talk about it later. Anyway, I hope you found some really cool games to play, but more importantly, I hope you saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Hoil Vour.